At Living Truthfully, we have many friends. And one of these friends is Pau Shinsky. His real name is actually Paul Otieno. But I'll tell you why he's our friend. He's also the one who did our Living Truthfully logo. And Pau needs our help. Now, Pau has a brother who was involved in a hit-and-run accident on the Thika superhighway. And he almost died. Twice. The first time at the accident, and the second time, would you believe this, due to neglect in a public hospital. He's much better now, we're grateful to report. But he has been in hospital for almost 100 days, and the family needs 2.5 million Kenyan shillings to get him home. So we're asking for donations. 50 bob, 100 bob, 200 bob, anything you can afford, nothing is too small. Send a donation to Victor Ouma Medical Fund, pay bill number 5107697. I'll say that again, 5107697. The account number will be your name. Please donate and let's get Victor back home. Coming up on this episode.
There are two kinds of people. That's why I told you healing starts at the rehab or after. So there I was. Found myself in a car, very drunk. I was driven to a rehab. I was booked in, very drunk. Checked in. Very violent at some point, and they gave me some tablets and I slept. So I woke up the next day.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good whatever time it is, wherever you are. Welcome to Living Truthfully. Episode 67. And with me, I have a guy. We'll talk about it in just a minute. But how are you doing? How is COVID peleka you? I don't know if you're going through a rough time. I don't know if you're able to make your rent. I don't know if you have food. But here's what I know. That no situation is permanent. And we're all going to get through this rough times, through this tough times together. So hang in there, Bana. Hang in there. Don't do anything stupid. Don't make rash decisions based on a rough time that you're in right now. If you're going through a tough time, talk to someone. Talk to someone. Tell them what's going on. And allow yourself some latitude. I think give yourself some, what do you call it? Some rope, some space. Because we're all going through tough times, Bana. Don't be fooled by how things look outside for guys. But yeah, so I have with me a gentleman. His name is Gregory. Coffee kwake tafadhali. So let me tell you, I've never met this guy before. He's in my house right now. He's a complete stranger. But he reached out to me. He reached out to me on FB and I want to read you something he said. So he said, my name is Gregory Ndege. I'm a husband, father, and an advocate by profession. I've been enjoying your podcast, trying to catch up. I was introduced to the same by my loving wife. She's a good woman. Sema, yes, she's a good woman. Now, this is what he says. So let me read your introduction because I think this is the reason you came. He says, having been brought up in a modern Nairobi family, attained majority age by 1999, teenage testosterone, girls, sex, liquor, nini. 2001, you went off to India to do your bachelor's. You landed in Mumbai and you had independence. You say you're entangled in a relationship with a Kenyan lady. You even moved in, partying, binge drinking, etc. After a year, she was no longer interested in you. Other men that you knew became her taste. So one day you decided to confront her and her new male partner. A fight broke out. and it was murky. And you were stabbed in your right thigh, a long deep cut, 23 stitches, 7 days in ICU, 30 days hospitalized, maimed for 6 months, using crutches. You say you are drunk. You want to talk about that. You want to talk about trauma. You want to talk about drugs. You want to talk about alcohol. And you want to talk about rehabilitation. What you're doing now.
Yeah, thank you so much. And by the way, just on the COVID issue, you've noticed that even the state or the president has an issue with the selling of liquor.
Yes.
And he's trying to also curtail the same.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's for another day. Now, Amani, first of all, thank you for helping us to reach out. You know, I think everyone is looking for a Moses. You know, the problem with us men and our maze of masculinity, you're trying to look for a Moses to take you out of Egypt to your Israel. There's so much going around the mill without prejudice to our females. Also equally affected with so many things. Now, basically, as you have said, I am a husband, I'm a father.
How many kids do you have?
2.
2.
Yeah.
How old are they?
Lovely girls, 3-year-old and 2-year-old.
Wow, congratulations.
Yes.
And how long have you been married?
I've been married now, it's going to 5 years.
Wow.
Yes.
I want to start this conversation by starting with where you are now. Okay? So we'll go to the story, but allow me to start by asking, how are you doing?
Currently,
Yeah.
I'm doing fine, very fine,
Mhm.
excellent. Me, I'm pleased and proud of myself through
Okay.
God's grace. That is one thing. The guy upstairs has really molded me to be something very different. Personally, at the moment, where I am a husband. It's very important to me, and a father. Then professionally, I'm an advocate. What I love doing with myself, I have pets. By there, I have 3 dogs.
Okay.
They keep me busy.
Okay. What breeds are they?
I have a German Shepherd. I have a Japanese Spitz and a Rhodesian Roland.
I don't know what a Rhodesian Roland looks like. I'll look that up.
Yeah. Then basically, being an advocate, it's very challenging. We have equally been affected with this COVID.
Yeah, I have a very good friend who's an advocate as well. Who's actually staying here. The courts are closed, have been closed. You can't go to court. You can't. Even the land's office was closed, so you can't do conveyancing. How have you been surviving?
I must say that there are a few things that I've been doing here and there. Personally, I've set up some small businesses for myself that have helped me survive until now. I thank God. I have some semi-permanent structures that I collect rent, around 20 of them.
Ish.
Yeah, and my office is also near where I stay.
Yeah.
I've set up an office in Buruburu, Ebrem Square.
Yeah.
I still have walk-ins. People still need affidavits. People still need sale agreements. Transactions are still going on.
Yeah.
And for the few weeks they open the courts, I managed to get clients for ongoing files and also small savings here and there. Just learn to be wise how you spend and what you're using. It's equally difficult for everyone.
It's true.
Yeah, and
It's
also
true.
your phone can be ringing 24 hours. Some people need assistance monetarily.
Yeah.
So it's a challenge.
Tell me, were you always disorganized?
I must say, every man looks up to someone.
Yeah.
Me, my mentor, is my father. I've never told him that.
Wow.
My mentor is my father.
Why have you never told him that?
I always just appreciate him. I always take time to appreciate him and tell him things. I'll tell you something. There's a day my father complained and told me, I am a poor man. I felt so hurt and disgusted. This is what I told my father. Now you listen, you poor man. You have 4 children whom you have educated all outside the country to university and master's level, and you're calling yourself a poor man. Don't you ever say that? And he smiled. He told me, I've never thought it about that. And I even calculated how much he spent on me being an alcoholic for 7 years, missing classes. And he was like amazed, like, okay, I have never seen my life that way. So I told him, you're not a poor man. So he's my mentor, and he was an organized dad. He's an organized man. He's still alive. He's very organized. And there's something I've picked from him. Family comes first.
Yeah. Before we go through the story, because I'm a guy about seizing the moment. If your father was here, and if your father was here on this table, you wanted to tell him something that he's never heard before from you, what do you say?
I'll just tell him I love him. And thank you. Thank you for being patient, forgiving. And even thank you for proposing. And he flew out of the country and told my mom and my auntie, take this boy to rehab. He's tired. And he flew out of the country.
Wow, where is he now?
No, he flew out and came back. I went to rehab in 2009. He was working with an NGO in Ethiopia by then. An NGO through the government of Kenya.
So, I want to give you an opportunity to call your father.
Wow, that one came as a shock.
Would you mind if I recorded the call?
Mind?
All right, so I'm trying to connect him to my recording device.
Yes.
Because I want him to call his dad. I want you to tell father these things you've just said. Because life is short, man. You'll hear the phone ring in your headphones.
Technology. It's my shortcoming.
Is it ringing?
It's ringing. But I cannot.
Okay. So I'll put it on speaker then.
Yes, morning, Dad.
Morning.
How are you?
Fine.
I'm also fine.
Nimeamka vizuri.
Yeah, tumeamka salama. Now, this is just a surprise call. I've been given an offer or a favor by a friend at a studio to call and appreciate you as my father. Since you've brought us up, it is hard. I've never told you thank you for so many things. So I just want to say thank you. And you are my role model. There's so much I've learned from you. Everything I do is because of you. I've learned so much, even my discipline. And even thank you for the patience, for forgiveness, and even for the time you stood by me and you made sure I went to rehab. Yes, I just was calling to say that. Have a good morning. I will pass by tomorrow. We have an appointment, as I assured you. Yes. Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well done. How does that feel?
Mwanaume ni kujikaza. That is what we've been brought up to believe. Ati, don't you ever tell your father you love him. And, you're imploding inside. At times, you need to tell this man because he has reached out for you for a very long time. And for those who have not been with their fathers, if they have a father figure, at some point, he's your Superman. When you're growing up, father atakupiga, father upiga kila mtu. And you believe your dad, he's unstoppable. But I think as they grow old, they need us to tell them these things.
It's true.
Because, first of all, they're idle. And all they think of is you, if you've never realized. So I'm giving a challenge to most of the men. Take time and reach out to your fathers.
I agree. Completely.
Make calls. Just take him out. Buy him shoes at Bata. They love Bata shoes, I know. Sandals. And just take him out for lunch.
I agree. Completely.
Yeah.
Well done. So, let's go back to your story. 1999, you finished high school.
Yes.
What's going on in your life at that time?
I had finished from Maranda High School in Bondo. And I think I must tell you this. There are things you do, but you're laying a foundation for yourself. I'm not going to talk about it spiritually, but listen. The day we finished high school, that day, I went to the local town. Chapat some changa.
Okay.
Badly. I even slept somewhere with a friend. See, now we have finished schools, now we are adults and nobody can stop us. Took the next bus back to Nairobi.
Yeah.
Now I'm Mtani. But now basically I had already introduced myself to alcohol.
Yeah.
The irregular,
Yeah.
the occasional,
Yeah.
the Jamhuri Day.
Yeah.
You know, you changa some few coins here and there, buy a kuguru, you drink. Those days,
Yeah, forgotten kuguru bana.
yeah. Those days you used to go to F2 with a lollipop in your mouth.
Yeah.
You feel you're cool. Old school bana. Crisscross was the thing. Shirt. Yeah. So that is the time I started introducing myself. But that is a stage. I've tried to read a lot about alcohol. So that is normally a stage. It is the introduction stage whereby it is very occasional. And there's nothing wrong with that. Personally, first of all, to my friends who drink, they can't even stretch their tentacles when they get to the podcast. They know I still respect them and that is their position and they respect mine. Yeah. I have nothing against them. Yeah. It is their choice. But I still instill on them what I have gone through. And if you feel like you want to stop early, it's okay. So during that time, being in Kariobangi South, first of all, there's one thing. There are so many bars around that place. Right now, they have gone down, the number. Because bars are supposed to be according to the population demography. Now, you can't have more than 20 bars in an estate where you only have a population of 4,000. Those are so many bars.
It is.
Yeah. As per the Liquor Licensing Act, the population demography, that is wrong. Anyway, those are legal issues that I entangled in my profession. Pick them
I didn't even know
later.
that, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, there used to be this green liquor beer that KBL introduced. It was my first drink. I remember on these 31st, now after high school, and we were in that local pub called Mautini, and there was an estate party, and I had invited a former girlfriend, a girlfriend that I had during my school days. And I really drank on that day. A lot of beer. Then the next day, because your body is very strong, you know, somebody who is around age of 18, 19 can drink a whole bottle of whiskey and the next day he'll wake up fine, feed and forget about it. Yeah. But now, you see, with the time, my parents decided that I have to go to school, to college. So my dad paid for me KCA by then. I was doing some CPA. So this is 2001. And I remember I joined a group, Peer Pressure. We used to drink now a must every Friday and Saturday.
Killer Friday.
Yeah.
Killer Saturday.
Yeah. See, now it's not occasional.
Yeah.
You have started.
It's regular.
Yeah, it's getting regular.
Yeah.
And for no reason. And you want to feel the same taste,
Yeah.
the same highness of the first day. One thing I came to realize, I'm not a medic, but when I was studying, I realized that every alcoholic, what you always remember is that first highness. It's there planted, the back of your mind. Just want that day.
Wow.
God, that day I was there. So that is always what we are looking for.
So that first highness gives you, it unlocks something in your brain.
Yes.
And you want to you're chasing that high again.
Yes, you're chasing that high, that feeling, that ecstasy,
Yeah.
the energy.
Yeah.
That is what you're normally facing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So now, and I've called my old man, and I always say these people are wise.
Yeah.
So what he realized is that I am in a group. Since I am in a group, he realized, let me do something. This young man is getting out of hand.
Yeah.
I remember by then my brother was playing football, very good football. He even played for Harambee Stars.
Wow.
Yeah, and so he had chums. Being my elder bro, I'm the younger bro. Yeah, everybody.
You benefit.
Yeah, it's a must. You're the big bro. Me, I don't care. You give me chums. You buy me liquor. You buy me mira. I don't care. So I'll always go where he is for every game. I used to play for Kenya Breweries. So for every game, even outside the city, I used to go. Yeah. So slowly by slowly, it becomes now the regular drinking. Now, so by this time, my dad was like, now I'm going to send you to India. And voila, passport came, visa came, and I took the flight. And as I told you on FB, I found myself
In Mumbai.
Ndege.
Everything is okay, huh?
No tension. Now, I was still young, and I traveled from Mumbai to this place called Kolhapur. And may my friend RIP, the person who received me, is the guy I was talking about. I told you I lost a friend.
The one is a magistrate.
Yeah. Yes, he was unwell, but partly related to liquor. Those who know the truth will tell you. Yeah, his liver was completely gone. But you could not believe when you see him. He was a bulky guy, tall, strong, but slowly by slowly. So he's the guy who received me in India. And they gave me a safe landing. He was a guy from Buru.
Yeah.
I'm a guy from K-South. What else?
Connection.
Right
there.
Yeah. And Amani, I want to bring to your attention that liquor there is very cheap.
In India.
Very, not cheap. Now, with 200 shillings,
Yeah.
I'm having a full bottle.
Wow.
With 60 shillings, I have a full bottle of government liquor. And when I'm talking about government liquor, I'm talking about local Indian changa.
That is approved.
Approved.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something like what Mutudo was trying to introduce.
Yeah.
And you find yourself having a full bottle and the whole time for yourselves. Then you meet this lady. She's also from Kenya. And you feel you're the man. And by the way, there's something I've realized. I always tell every man, you're not the one who picked that lady. She picked you. That is a conversation for another. There's a day I told someone, when you walk into a room of 7 women, they will all look at you. And one of them has already decided, if you blink, she will blink. And that's it. Then she will look down. You, thinking that you are the jogo, nothing like that. So we started a relationship with the lady.
You know, Chris Hart, who is a psychologist, actually said that to me. I used to disagree with him, but hearing it from you, maybe he was right.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you start a relationship with this lady?
And we even moved in together. And by the one thing is, she never used to drink for her. Yeah, but for me now, every Friday I must drink, every Saturday, every Sunday we used to party and all that. But you see, as you drink every Saturday, Friday, there are days or weeks you drink Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. And your judgment is slowly becoming impaired. Instead of focusing on what took you there, you start focusing on irrelevant issues, facts that are not compatible to yourself, to your family, to the finances of your family, or whoever is supporting you. And it is normal. As a young man, you feel like you view women in a different way. We should start viewing women properly, not like property.
I agree.
Yeah. So I'm like, what is going on? Why is this lady all over this guy? Why is this guy all over this lady? So this is in my second year, my LLB. So I remember it was on a March 13th, some weeks to, the exams were coming to April. So it was on a March 13th. I drank a lot of rum, and by evening I was lodged. So I took my friend who told me, let's go back and confront these guys. So we went, we found the lady there, found the guy, and obviously a fight broke out. Now wewe na kimbelembele yako na kijeuri yako, you are the target, because the guy knows if I finish you, you're the stronger one, the fight is over. So the guy just took a knife, timed me, and down my thigh, right thigh.
Wow.
It was a deep cut.
Wow.
I was told within 2 minutes I was completely, and I was bleeding. And it was an issue. It was a life and death issue. Let me tell you for a fact, the doctor who attended to me was a neurosurgeon. And why should a neurosurgeon start stitching?
Hi.
Because he said, if I don't stitch this young man now, in the next 15 minutes,
You'll be dead.
this is a casket going back to Kenya.
Oh.
So that is a wound, a physical wound I picked until now. If you notice, when I'm walking, that leg has a problem, but it is okay. I have done a lot of stretching, and the leg is okay. Very much okay. But I still have the stitches.
What? Uh-huh.
So now, you see, you are in a drunken stupor and you wake up in a hospital, and the first thing the doctor tells you, why do you drink? His name is Dr. Prabhu. I still remember him. Sometimes I send him emails and he sends back. He tells me, why do you drink, young man? So I was in Hosi, and after Hosi, luckily my brother had come to India to study, a footballer.
Yeah.
So I had to travel and stay with him some few days here and there. And by the time I was staying with him, I was just recapitulating, but nevertheless, I had trauma. It's not a joke.
Yeah. You had a near-death experience.
But to me, as a man, me ni hero. Sindio?
We survived it.
I survived, me ni hero.
Yeah.
You're not a hero, my friend. You need some counseling. You have trauma in you, which so many people avoid.
Yeah.
So after all this, the relationship with the lady could not work. And I could not heal at that time.
So you have a physical wound, you have an emotional wound.
Yes. And I was given an opportunity by my parents. Thank God for them. Hey, guy, here is a ticket. Come back home. We see you, man. That was... You also have the revenging heart. The guy who stabbed you.
Yeah.
And all that. So I never even came back home. That was the first ticket. Gone like that.
Wow.
That was around 50G.
Wow.
So I decided to go back to Kolhapur, where I used to study. Went back to my house with my crutches. And we used to get bursary. And our parents also used to send you upkeep. So by slowly, I started becoming a problem drinker. Why are you a problem drinker? Because you have so many issues that are going around you.
And they're related to drinking.
Yes. Because one, it is when you're realizing why I was stabbed. Now you're alone. The lady, gone. I didn't miss my exams. I did my exams with crutches and I passed.
Wow.
First class.
Wow.
With crutches.
Wow.
Thanks to the Almighty. So that gave my parents something like, okay, let's just push this guy. So now...
So I want to recognize some things. You've talked about an introduction.
Yes.
Irregular drinker.
Yeah, irregular. Occasionally.
Occasional drinker.
Yeah.
Then you've talked about a regular drinker.
Yes.
Now we're at a
problem drinker.
And now a word from our sponsors.
COVID-19 has changed our lives in many ways. As an entrepreneur, I have come to appreciate the value of us sticking together. This is why I want to give you, the listener of Living Truthfully, an incredible offer to advertise your business on this podcast for, wait for it, whatever you can afford. Wow! That's right, whatever you can afford. This is what you do. Just send me an email on amani@thamanimedia.com with details of your product or service and how much you want to pay.
Wow.
That's it. And then I will get back to you, and once approved, your advert will be on the next episode. Take a chance on yourself and pay what you can. However, some subjective terms and conditions will definitely apply. They aren't famous for their perfect hair, but they are sure about to be famous for their love of Formula One. Listen to Andy and Eve take on the world of racing unfiltered. Join them as they delve into their passion, as they provide insights and unbiased opinions on their all-time favorite sporting event. Listen to the F1 Pod on Google Podcasts now. You were not born so you can pay bills, then die. You were born for a reason. Yes, you have a purpose. And here is a sweetener. You can discover your purpose and turn it into profit. Want to know how? Go to lifesignatures.life and download the free ebook Purpose to Profit by author, life coach, and destiny connector Lawrence Namale. And check out his podcast too, Life Signatures. And now, back to our story. You've talked about an irregular drinker.
Yeah, irregular. Occasional
drinker.
Yeah.
Then you've talked about a regular drinker.
Yes.
Now we're at a
problem drinker. And a problem drinker is one guy who's very deflective, very rude, very selfish, arrogant, now unkept, unclean at times. Now what you're doing with yourself at this time is this. I will drink for 3 weeks, non-stop. It's possible. It's not impossible. It's very possible with that age. Non-stop.
Yeah.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you sleep, you watch a movie with a quarter. Friday, poop.
Back to it.
But there's so much going on in your mind. You see, they say an idle mind is a devil workshop.
Yeah.
And one thing I want to say is that wine is a mocker, alcohol is a brawler. That is in the book of Proverbs. Yeah. Now, you see, what the alcohol is doing to you, it is creating the idleness in your mind. And you think you're idle. So every time you don't want to feel idle, you don't want to feel lonely.
So you drink.
So came my third year exams. I did them and I fled the city that I was living in, Kolhapur, and I went to Mumbai. But if you ever want to take a trip to Mumbai, talk to me.
Oh, I don't know what that
That means talk to me. Yeah. I know Mumbai in and out.
Wow.
Yeah. And I learned the Hindi and the Marathi, the languages, so well.
Wow.
So well. Not well, so well.
Wow.
Yes.
The guy should go negotiate with at Biashara Street.
Yeah. I can do that so well. So what did I go to do to Mumbai? Now, you see, I want to sustain my new business. My new business is alcohol taking. And since there is cheap product, because you see, their industries are very well, they are cottage industries.
Yeah.
So you can sell watches very easily. You can sell fridges very easily. They will buy from you because they believe you're a foreigner and what you're selling has come from your country.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. So I can be rich in Mumbai.
Yes, they cannot differentiate between me and you. Even our skin pigment.
But we look the same only, eh?
No, yar. Only small. That is what they will tell you. So now, since you're in that city, obviously the other Kenyans who are living there, you start doing this business. But you have to get the urge and the psyche. So in the morning, you have to take a quarter, then you sell these things, you go hawking around. Just monkey business.
Yeah.
You take trains from one place to another, doing a lot of nothing.
Yeah.
And you make money. By the way, you make very good money.
Wow.
You will not miss, from 10 watches, you'll make around 4,000 Kenya shillings.
Wow.
That is very good money in India. That's around 2,900 rupees. You can pay your house for 1,000 rupees.
Wow.
And a meal of 200 shillings, me and you cannot finish.
Wow.
Yeah. So you see.
Yeah.
So you have money to drink.
Yep.
So whether your parents are sending money or not, you have
you can sustain it.
You can sustain the drinking.
Yeah.
So you drink until you forget you're supposed to go back to where you're to be for your studies and your exams. When people call you to come back, you tell them, I'll come back. I never went back for a year.
Wow. Just drinking.
Biashara,
hustle, and drinking. Just to sustain it.
Yeah, to sustain it. I never went back.
Okay.
Yeah. So I realized I have to go back. So when news were reaching my parents that this guy is not studying, they tried to call, they tried to reach out. So many people tried to reach out. But I've told you, a problem drinker has characters, and those characters. And he's very deflective and offensive and defensive also. This issue, I'm drinking because of Amani. He took my shoe.
Yeah.
I must find someone to blame.
Yeah.
A blame game.
Yeah.
So in the problem drinking stage, it's slowly now becoming a disease. It was never a disease. But now it is affecting your neurons. It's affecting your brain. And it is why tutoe lock bana.
I've never understood that concept.
I'll explain it to you.
Okay.
This is the concept.
I've never understood why you need to drink to chomoa the effects of drinking.
You see, it is a state of mind. Medics can explain it later. I think one day in the podcast you have to bring a doctor.
I'll bring a doctor actually.
Yeah. This can be so nice. Medics can explain it well. But as I've said, the alcohol has taken control of your brain.
Yes.
Per se. What now is happening is it is slowly grooming your nerves and your systems to depend on it. And that is why when you wake up, you're shaking. Malnutrition. You do not have proper vitamins. You see, eat nyake and ugali, drink no vitamins. So you're going down, but slowly, and nobody will ever notice. But you're going down. And now your bowels are also loose. Yeah, your bowels start becoming loose. That acid is too much for a human being to take. So what happens is that you have to wake up in the morning and you feel you're shaking, and you have to go around to sustain this business. So a quarter is 25 rupees. That is 30 Kenya shillings. Down. Lunchtime, another. In the evening, a bottle. So that is how, slowly.
So you're moving from, you're not even now a problem drinker.
I'm not a problem. Now I am dependent.
Now you're a patient.
No, yes, patient, dependent.
Okay.
I am now an alcohol dependent. The syndrome is taking control of our lives.
Yes.
And there's something I want to address very urgently. Amani, there's a podcast you heard and listening to it. We are not defined by what we have, not our money, not our status, not our professions. The social fabric of our country defines us by that. Nani ako sawa? Ako na gari, ako na nyumba, ako na bibi.
Ako sawa, ni sauce.
Ni sauce. Watsana na yeye. Yes, he's sauce. He's slowly becoming dependent to his money to sustain the habit.
Yeah.
And that is why people it is not a must an alcoholic reaches rock bottom for people to start helping. That is the problem we have in Kenya. Kazi ipote.
Wife
aende. Ndai yauze. Then is when people realize it was an issue. Why could we not start talking about it early?
Because we were partying and we were enjoying and we were drinking with him.
Because we are okay. We think we are okay. And people are different. And God is not a respecter of persons. He will use you or the other person. So now, at this juncture, so in 2000 and I marked time my third year for 2 years. 2004, 5, 6
Yeah.
time. So in 2006, I managed to come back home for a holiday. And I landed at the airport smelling of alcohol. Immediately I reached home. After 1 hour, I was out of the house, went to get some friends that I could recall, made phone calls, and I really drank. It was a very bad holiday. And my mother was very devastated.
Oh.
And my dad was not around. He was already outside the country. And I drank myself to a condition that now I was bedridden. I was in a state of mind where you are hallucinating. And it is true hallucinating. Nasi urogi. Let's not lie.
It's just alcohol.
It is alcohol. It has gone to that part of the brain. A doctor was I have a family doctor. Thanks to him. He's in Czech Republic. He really took part in this fight. So now, I am home for a holiday and I am unwell. So what does my mom decide? Psychologist, let's go. I go. Even psychologists will tell you alcoholics are very, very skeptic, evasive, and very smart. You will not address the problem with him. What you will want the psychologist to do at that moment is to give you the tablets. Nipe. Immediately you get those tablets, you feel relieved, you will sleep. If it is Oliens, if it is Valium, no, most of them. But now, notice what is happening to you. It is a choice. Once the drugs are over, you have a choice of keeping off, seeking more help, or you continue with the disease. And the disease is in the back of your mind. You feel you're missing something. Missy mwanaume bana. So you go back and start drinking. And you are clean now. Maybe even for a month or 2. So when you start the habit, now you introduce the pills because you know them and you can get them.
Yeah.
So I can flush alcohol out of my body if I want. I can detox. My detox will take 2 days. Because I know the tablets.
Wow.
So that's how now life was. So in at around August 2006, I went back to India. You now see, I am supposed to have finished
your degree.
Yeah, I have not. Back to India. Same. Nothing changes. Same old boy. Same old grudge. And better, by the way, in the game. I know all Indians. I know every corner. Anything, any illegal thing you want, you talk to me. I'll get it. I was even in the movie industry. Extras.
Bollywood.
Yeah, Bollywood. Extras, Mike.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's a cycle. This is drinking. This is a motorbike. Nothing else. I have another one here.
He's showing me a scar on his hand. Yeah.
Yeah. I have another one here. Nothing else.
So when do you come to your senses?
Now, once in India, thank God again, there are people who reached out. I still respect them until now. And when we meet nowadays, they tell me, I told you. There's something we saw in you. Me, there's something I saw earlier, and I knew that was not you. So, you see, I drove myself into that kind of. And one thing I came into terms, I had to look into my past and open some skeletons. So by 2008, April, I did my final exams and the results were out and I passed.
You're still drinking at this time?
Very. Kwanza, that day the results were out, I called my mzee and he was very happy and he sent me chums, man.
Wow.
Sent me around 20 G's. Man.
That's like $1 million.
Hey. So me and my friend, we drank for 3 weeks. And everyone knew me as a brawler. Greg atakunywa tu nini. Saili andaka kusoma tu ndio atasoma, but He's just a wasted guy. So even your juniors who came after you finish college and come back home, you're doing nothing. The Indians all around, yeah, those are the things. You feel like you've lost a lot. So now, once that was done, in 2009, around April, the first ticket was sent. I never utilized it. My papers were not in order. I had to find my
overstayed. Or?
Yes, I had overstayed.
Yeah.
You see, there is a visa and there is a residential permit. So my residential permit was out of time. That took me. That is another frustration. So you go back to the problem drinker.
Yeah.
I have a problem.
Yeah.
And you're not telling people what you have. So we managed to sort out the problem. The other guys, we had the same problem.
Yeah. Several of you.
Yeah. So we sorted it out. We got our renewed our visas and the permits, and I flew back home. Carried my books, some few clothes, the degree, came back immediately in Kafika, threw it there, out. From April 2009 until October 23rd, 2009, it was murky, it was messy. Call it names. Yeah. Backstreet, Nairobi. Changa, Madare, Kikomba. There's nowhere I don't know about Changa in this Nairobi.
Oh.
Your mom sees you, cries. Your sister cries. They have not seen you for a week. And how is your dressing by then? A simple t-shirt, a short, and some rubbers. That will do me for a week. I don't want so many things. Me, when I go back home, I sleep in the floor in the sitting room, drunk. I wake up at 5, I'm out. But before I leave, see, I pick that iron box banner.
You're picking the iron box to do what with it?
To go and sell it, to sustain my business of drinking.
So now you're selling things.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Now, I am a thief. The criminal procedure court has to be visited on me. I'm stealing from my parents and my sisters.
Wow.
Now, being a Christian, I believe prayer is an insurance. Prayer is not for today. There's one thing I've come to realize. God does not tell you, pray for now. He tells you, you seek me, find me, and I will find you in your time of need. So, in October 23rd, I was very tired. And I remember such kind of this morning, I left the house and I went to a local pub. We were drinking keg. And apparently, a friend of mine came. Then a cousin came. Out of these two people come to, why is my cousin here? Anyway, my cousins used to come and visit me, and they were just told, go around the local pubs, you get him. So when my cousin was there, he bought me liquor and told me it's time we go back home. So when I reached home, I found my mom, and I found my auntie, my sisters, and everyone was seated. And I knew something is cooking.
It was an intervention.
Yeah. I was tired. There are two things you have to notice. Now I am an alcoholic and I am sick. I am rock bottom, by the way, but it is not a must you reach rock bottom. So now, I want help. I need help, but I will not stretch my hand.
You'll not ask for it.
They have to give it to me by force, by fire. I will take it, by the way. I know I am dying. You know, there are two kind of people. That's why I told you healing starts at the rehab or after. So there I was. Found myself in a car, very drunk. I was driven to a rehab. I was booked in, very drunk. Checked in. very violent at some point, and they gave me some tablets and I slept. So I woke up the next day. I was given rules and regulations of that facility. We'll talk about the facility later. And after the rules and regulations of the facility, I noticed I was given an exercise book, pens, colors, not so many clothes, just 2 clothes, things that you can wash for yourself.
Yeah.
And they started now. There are classes there you have to attend, Monday to Friday. It's school, by the way.
Yeah.
But it's just school to normalize you.
Yeah.
And I loved the rehab. And by the way, me, I am never afraid. I tell people, me, I went to rehab. You take it or leave it. It doesn't make me a lesser man. Yeah,
That makes you a stronger person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I learned that one, I cannot help myself, so I need help.
Yeah.
And the only person who can help me is the guy upstairs through other people.
Yeah.
And I learned that I have been living an abnormal life. And this is why it's abnormal. After 2 days, 3 days, you feel hungry every time. And by the rehab, they don't need to cook for you good food. Boiled food is okay.
Yeah.
Man, I drank uji. Hey, bro. Porridge. And I was just now like a schoolboy. Bread. 1 full bread. Why? Your body had missed normalcy. So it's 1 month you're coming back to normalcy. Now, depending on what you are using, they stop the drugs very early. For me, after 3 days, they said, for this one is okay, let's stop the drugs. There was nothing else I was using. I was not a smoker. I was not taking cannabis. Thank God for that. So I had to start. There are charts all over that room. And you have to look at those charts. You have to draw them. I drew myself. And after you draw yourself, you paint yourself and tell yourself who you are. You're rude. You're a mockery. You're dirty. etc. And with your consent, because this is rehab, they will ask you, have you been sexually active? Because you see, there is the alcoholism, but there might be another issue. It's not a must for someone to be an alcoholic to have something else, but it is very important to address underlying issues.
Yes.
So a VCT has to be done on you and a TB test. You're okay. But let me tell you for a fact, when you're opening up to those men there, now there it's opening up. I met bishops there, engineers, doctors, big people. I met them there at the rehab. In the actual African contextualization is when you realize, this thing is normal. We have it all because, you have your day of telling your story the way I'm telling the story now. You have your day. You have your 2 hours. You stand there and let's tell your story. Tell your story. Pour it out. Then after you finish, they ask you questions. How did you manage? You see, it's a healing process.
Yeah.
After the 60th day, I had made the decision. Time is up. It's over. No more liquor in my life. Yeah. And I remember it's when I picked up, there is a quote I normally like saying, waste no time being a good man. Talking about a good man. Don't talk about being a good man. Be one. Don't talk about a good man. Just be one. Try and be one. It's a quote by Marcus Aurelius. I read a lot of Stoic and philosophy. Yeah. So now, I'm out of rehab. And I've told you, healing starts
After
90 days.
Yeah.
So I'm coming back home in February next year, 2010. I have not gone to Kenya School of Law. I had a missed opportunity. I had passed the entrance exam, but I never went. Why?
Yeah.
Wasting time.
Yeah.
Drinking. So luckily I'll say his name because I'll send him this podcast. Edu There's a guy called Edward Luzovi. He reached out to me so fast. He told me, instead of staying home, come I show you business. It's when I started selling suits down. I still do that.
No wonder you're so sharply dressed.
That one now, this one I thank my wife. She takes good care of me.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So now I am selling suits. I'm from Rehab. I'm with this guy. I still have to go back home. The support system is there. Now, it is at this point you make the decision. You have the support system. Don't go back to the dungeon. The dungeon is very dangerous because the moment you go back to the dungeon, you're done. So I had a very good supportive system, spiritual supportive system. You don't need a lot of money when you're getting yourself back. All you need is just composure, relax, and take one day at a time. Don't rush. And since 2009 to date, till now, never tasted
Alcohol.
I've never.
Wow.
And it is something that comes from within. Adaptation. As I told you earlier, if I don't spread the gospel, I'm lying to myself. I have to spread this gospel. That's why I reach out. I visit schools. I get people who call me to talk to people in rehabs. I do it because it's part of the healing. Healing never stops. And know what are your triggers. No triggers, Sasa. Know when to say no. Know when to end a conversation. Because you see, not that you're vulnerable, but avoid triggers. Then now,
I understand that. So I have a question for you. Because you're in a good space now. You've come out of this dark space. You've been able to make up. When did you go to Kenya School of Law?
2012.
2012. You're now an advocate of the High Court. You have your own practice. When did you get married?
2015.
Oh. Did you tell her this story before you got married?
She knows the story.
Before? Did you tell her before?
Yes, before.
And what was her reaction?
Okay, first of all, I feared telling her.
Of course.
But she told me everyone in life goes through a process. But she told me, by the way, if you ever go back there, me, I will whip you.
Is she a Kikuyu? It sounds
No.
like she's one of us.
No, she's a Luya.
I'm playing with you.
Yeah, it's okay. I understand.
I have a friend who just came back from rehab, but he's still drinking. And I don't know how to help him. What conversation should I have with him?
Every story is different, but we have similarities. Can we be having an underlying issue that is not telling anyone?
Possibly.
Because as I told you, underlying issues are killing alcoholics. Because from the dungeon you pick so much. You pick diseases, trauma, and also failure. I lost my job due to this. My wife left. So underlying issues needs to be. Then also, I don't know how the support system is. Change of environment, change of a family member can be a trigger. Do you know that?
Yep.
Yeah, so the conversation we should be having with our brother is we push to an underlying issue. If we can get the underlying issue, we can start a point and we can go up the hill.
Lastly, I'm concerned. One of the reasons I'm happy to have these conversations about alcoholism. So, I mean, I'm grateful that I've never been there. I've had my own other addictions that I've had to deal with, and thank God I've been able to deal with them, but not alcohol. But I'm concerned at the way we drink as Kenyans. I'm concerned that that's we think the plan is to drink. We'll go to Mombasa so that we can drink. Not to enjoy the beach, the holiday,
Drink.
Yeah. We'll go to Naivasha so that we can drink. I mean,
we call ourselves a drinking nation.
Yeah, let's sit down and drink. There's always alcohol in the conversation. I'm concerned. How can we deal with this?
Now, I think these are personal choices, and I'm going to talk about now drugs. One, we have legal and illegal drugs. We have legal and illegal alcohol. Now, let's talk about illegal. That is the changa. Now, the legal alcohol is only sold to persons over
the age of 18.
18.
Yeah.
It has been tested, but some of the legal alcohol is still illegal. Medically. Yeah. Meaning it's very injurious. Yes, the other is injurious because drinking a lot is an issue.
Yeah.
Now, it is a social problem that has to be addressed directly, one from the family's level, going up to the arms of government. And I can see as youths, they pretend we are idle, we need employment, that's why we are drinking. No. You start becoming idle when you are drinking. It creates the idleness in the mind. You are never idle. I'll give you a very good example. Me, I've seen youths who are very stable. They don't have employment, but they are busy around chasing for pesa ya vijana, forming community-based organizations. I've seen some youths in my estate, they are selling dogs, wearing dogs. They are not idle. And some of them are very sober-head. They are into sports, whether they are playing for a team or not, he has to keep himself busy. And he knows his spiritual day, whether it is Friday, Saturday or Sunday. He goes, gets fed. Now, it is a social problem because we have allowed it. That's why we are calling ourselves a drinking nation. But with the time, the havoc and detrimental issues into our families. And our families are suffering so much. How many wives have to cover up for their drinking husbands? In the morning when the boss is calling, nani ameanguka kwa bafu, nani ni mgonjwa, nani anatapika, but it is alcohol. How many children have to miss, I'll use the simplest thing, bread, because dad wanted to use the 100 to satisfy his urge. We are compromising so much. And that is why when we are drinking, me and you, and that text comes in, hi, we don't have food, you tell me, ni mjinga ati ananiitisha chakula, niliwatia 100. We are drinking again. And on and until we realize, and especially males, this thing is taking down the generation slowly by slowly, and it's affecting you. What are we leaving behind? What mantle are we leaving? So I think, to me, as I've told you, I try just to spread the gospel. That is what I try to do.
I want to thank you. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for spreading the gospel. So I'm going to ask you, as we close, and maybe, someone out here is looking for help. Someone is looking for a way to start the journey of them dealing with the alcoholism. How can you help?
Now, one, personally, as I live here, I'll leave you with my number.
Okay.
The reason is this. My story is factual. It is me. It's not about somebody.
Yeah.
That is a brother or a sister. I might have an input in life. Secondly, for the affected, the family members, try and seek help. And I know there is a myth here outside. People say that the AA roles are it's like a cult. It's not a cult. And there are 3 things I leave people with: body, mind, soul. What liquor does, it kills your body to destroy your mind. Then now you don't have a soul. That is why wewe ni kipepeo, twende hivi tutafute. Don't have judgment. So let families reach out. Try counseling. And for the government, they continue with the push. And right now, let me ask you, bro. Yes, they are there. How many road accidents are we having? No, during this COVID period.
Oh no, none. Few.
Yeah. And which is the most affected entertainment area?
Of course, the bars.
But are people dying?
No. Guys are alive.
So is it a must?
You're preaching to the choir, bro.
With all due respect, I don't have a problem, but is it a must?
Yeah, preaching to the choir.
You don't have to reach rock bottom.
Bro, I want to thank you so much for coming to tell your story. I'll take your number and leave me your email address as well. If you're out there, if you're looking for help, Greg is saying, I'm here. I'm happy to start the journey with you. It's your choice, but you've got to start the journey with someone, and I'm happy to help. This guy checked in at 9:30 in the morning to come and tell the story. This is major commitment. I really want to appreciate you. God bless you.
I keep my time.
You do. You actually do. He was here actually like at 9:15.
I learned that from the Man Enough program. I do a lot of programs.
Oh, nice. Nice. I used to facilitate Man Enough. Yeah, I was Battalion 1.
Yeah. Battalion 22. The other thing, I try to better myself. Anything that comes up that affects or can generate the male, I do it. It will better you. You'll pick up something.
I agree. God bless you. Have yourself a wonderful weekend. I pray that you remain not just sober, but you remain a beacon of light to other people, just like you are to the number of people who are going to listen to this podcast, and even the encouragement that you are to me. I can't wait to see what God does with you. God bless you, man.
God bless you too, and thank you.
Asante sana.